Sige
Okay,
po,
thank
thank
you,
you.
King Paolo. Alright, I'll be sharing my PowerPoint now, ha? This is actually made by... Ay, hindi pa pala naka-open. Open muna natin. PowerPoint natin. Okay, this PowerPoint is actually made by Sir Aaron, if you know him. He's a very, very good instructor here in PSU San Carlos, and we're borrowing materials from each other para na make sure namin na yung tinuturo namin ay within the coverage na ibibigay ng university. And proven na itong mga materials namin, kapag re-reviewin mo siya, mataas na yung makukuha mo doon sa departmental examination. Kasi sa general education subject class, it's departmental. And what do we mean by that? It's the university or whoever that they assign will be the one in charge of making your midterm examination and the final examination. Ibig sabihin, hindi kami na instructor ninyo yung gagawa. So, ang danger nun or ang tendency nun, baka may mga ma-include sila doon na hindi naituro. Pero so far, so good. Tested na yung materials na ginagamit na kapag inaral nyo yan, mataas at halos lahat nandoon. Kung may mga ilang items na wala, because not exactly, pero within the topic pa rin naman. So, nasa analysis mo na kung paano mo maatakihin yung item or yung examination. Okay? Alright. So, nakikita na ang screen mo, class?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
O, kumusta? O, kumusta? Ganyan na ba mga itsura nyo after how many weeks na we have started in this second semester? O, sabi
Yes,
niya,
ma'am.
wow, daming gawain. Parang mas magandang magdabog na lang. Puro memes yung nilagay ni Sir Aaron. When Arthur Neri said, siguro nga'y wala nang natira. May utak felt that. May natira pa ba sa mga utak ninyo after the quiz? Meron pa naman. Naubos na.
Naubos na.
Naubos. O, nagkakape ba kayo? Nagkakape raw ba kayo? Ang kilig-kilig na sa kape. O, ang kilig mo sa kape, kaya ka pinagpalit. Aray! Sino mahilig sa kape? Kaya pinagpapalit.
Ma'am, gusto ko
Okay.
magkape.
Kaya wag kang maging
Magkapera.
loyal sa tao, maging loyal ka sa kape. Dahil ang kape hindi ka iiwan kahit sa burol mo daw. Ang daming ensures. Anyway, speaking about coffee, we have here the number one, or I mean, yes, the leading brand when it comes to coffee, the Starbucks. And here is the presentation of the stores globally. And I have one question. Please analyze. You can see here from this graph or from this illustration that Canada ranks 8th. So medyo nakapanibago siya. It's not usual because Canada is a very big country. Why is it ranked only 8th among the 15 top countries here with the most number of Starbucks stores? Do you know the reason? Why? You raise your hand, whoever has an idea. Bakit number 8 lang yung Canada dyan? Syempre, of course, US number 1 because it's in US where the original store of the Starbucks is located. Sa kanila naman talaga galing ang Starbucks. How about Canada? Why is it ranked 8th? Do you have any idea? Any idea? See it na? So we can finish the slide. Canada is just ranked 8th there because it also has its own coffee brand. It also has its own coffee shop. And so what we call, ano yung coffee shop ng Canada? Sino na yung nakapasok doon sa may, tabi na siya. Doon sa, tabi ng Romantic Baboy, Army Navy, sa Dagupan. Anong coffee shop yung nandoon? Hindi kayo familiar? Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons naman yung coffee brand or coffee shop na meron sa Canada. But still, it's still ranked 8th. Marami pa rin naman. How many stores in Canada? There are 450 Starbucks stores in Canada. Okay, the point of this illustration class is that even if Starbucks originated from the United States, it can actually branch out to many other countries such as South Korea, Mexico, United Kingdom, Turkey, Taiwan, Indonesia, Thailand, even Philippines. Meron nga tayo niyan sa Dagupan, diba, sa SM, may Starbucks tayo. Malaysia, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Dubai, India, and Hong Kong. Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is made possible because of our topic this afternoon, which is globalization. Branching out of this product, of this coffee shop will never be made possible if not because of globalization. Naintindihan? Dahil lang sa globalization, kaya natitikman natin ang produkto ng ibang mga bansa na kahit hindi naman dito nag-originate sa ating bansa. That is made possible because of globalization. Okay? Alright, so here we are formally starting our discussion on chapter 2, communication and globalization. What do we expect from this chapter? We're going to talk about globalization, describe the nature of culture and the various processes of cultural adaptation, differentiate common cultural differences such as high context, low context cultures, collectivism and individualism, masculine and feminine, and various levels of power between leaders and followers. Okay, we will heavily deal with the term culture here in chapter 2 because we are interconnected with one another. We are from the Philippines and we are dealing with people who have very cultural backgrounds. That is why we need to understand what culture means, its nature, its elements, and everything about culture. Pag-aaralan natin dito sa chapter 2. Okay? But before that, marami pa tayong slides dito. What do you see here? We see social media icons. We have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and what is this? Is familiar? Snapchat, correct. Okay. Again, these social media icons here are actually tools of globalization. Why? Because we communicate in Instagram, in Messenger of the Facebook, Twitter, and also Snapchat. Okay, trivia lang tayo. Sabi dito, Filipinos spend over 4 hours using social media platform, which was the highest across the Asia-Pacific region. Grabe, tayo mga Pinoy ang nakatala ng maraming oras sa pagbababad sa social media. What do you think is the reason kung bakit mga Pilipino ang nakatala ng highest number of hours spent scrolling through social media? Bakit hindi sa Amerika? Bakit hindi sa Canada, sa Japan, o sa China? What do you think is the reason? Because? Yes, Mary Joy?
Ma'am, I think po dahil po maraming mga Pilipino yung nagwo-work abroad po ng ibang bansa po para magtrabaho, ganun po.
Okay, that may be one, pero ang gusto kasing ipahiwatig ng trivia na ito ay medyo negative. So yung sinabi mo ay positive, of course, it adds up to the number of hours kasi nga maraming nangingibang bansa and they need to communicate with their families they left here in the Philippines and they use social media to do that. Pero the concept or context of the meme or I mean the trivia is negative. So bakit kaya Pilipino ang may naitala na pinakamaraming oras? Yes, Janine?
Ma'am, siguro kasi marami tayong parang cellphone yung sa Pilipino, marami po silang mas inuuna pang bumili ng cellphone kaysa sa basic needs. Tsaka maraming time kasi yung iba walang work, ganun po.
Okay. Mas priority ng mga Pilipino bumili ng gadget, ng cellphone, pang social media, kaysa pambili ng needs. That's a little far-flung, medyo malayo na, pero pwede naman, negative pa rin. King Paolo, you were saying something kanina. You raise your hand, ha?
Addiction po, na-addict po yung mga Pilipino. Di ba po marami pong, dahil sa social media, nakakaano po ng anxiety, parang nagiging gamot na po nila, parang reliever yung social media po.
Okay, parang escape nila ang social media, addiction. Bakit nga? Bakit naging addict ng mga Pilipino sa social media? Or reveal na because what is trending here in the Philippines class is that people don't have jobs. Kung sa Amerika, kung sa Japan, kung sa China, ang trend doon ay they have 2 jobs. A person in America class has 2 jobs actually. It's normal there when you're in America that you have a day job and a night job. Ibig sabihin, hindi lang iisa ang trabaho mo. pwedeng maging dalawa 'pag nasa Amerika ka. Iba yung trabaho mo sa daytime at iba din yung trabaho mo sa nighttime. In contrast here in the Philippines, ang mga uso dito ay mga tambay, mga marites, mga tsismosa, mga nasa harap ng tindahan na matatakot ka ng dumaan sa harap ng tindahan kasi pagkadaan mo ikaw na yung pag-uusapan, 'di ba? Yan naman ang uso sa atin, 'no? It's a little negative. Nakakalungkot lang 'no na tayo pa yung may pinakamaraming oras sa social media, dapat nga tayo yung mas nagpupursige, mas nagtatrabaho because we are a third world country. Anyway, be careful in relation to what King Paulo said na people, especially your generation and my generation, our generations use social media as an escape because we are very anxious with what's happening in our life. Maybe sa part ninyo sa studies, tapos sa part ko naman ay sa career, tapos skip na lang ang social media. Kunwari, nagpo-post ng masaya, pero you just wanna feel good. Deep inside ay hindi ka talaga masaya. O, ganyan. Skip ko din ang social media actually. When you see me posting funny things on social media or you see me happy in social media, it's not every time na I feel the same parang in reality because that's virtual reality, 'di ba? In physical reality, parang it's the opposite. I'm just making use of social media as my escape or to feel good. Ayan, raise awareness lang tayo kasi in relation to what King Paulo Kapansag said, that's very true. We only use social media to feel good. Okay? How about in this slide? What do you notice? Can you give me one word to describe this illustration?
Ma'am,
Evolution.
the evolution.
Evolution, okay. Evolution of the phone, modernization. Evolution kasi pwede naman din ICT evolution from the 4 stages, 'di ba? Yung pre-mechanical, mechanical, o meron kayong living in the IT era. Anyway, correct, this is evolution or modernization from big phones with big antennas, yung Motorola na mga cellphone natin, not even Motorola, 'di ba? May mga Nokia, ganyan, o may mga antenang cellphone pa hanggang sa nawawalan na yung antena, numinipis na, o nagkaroon din tayo nung foldable na cellphone, and then yan, palaki ng palaki yung touchscreen hanggang sa nawala na yung keypad, panipis ng panipis, palaki ng palaki. Ayan, we call that modernization. And that is possible through globalization. Okay? Sana here in the Philippines, what we only have kung walang globalization ay yung Nokia lang. Kasi Nokia is from the Philippines, tama ba? Or ibang bansa din ang Nokia? What is that phone brand that originated here in the Philippines? Can you give me an example?
Mobile, ma'am.
Cherry Mobile.
Cherry Mobile.
Cherry Mobile, okay. So without globalization, the phones that we have here in the Philippines are only Cherry Mobile phones. But because of globalization, we have iPhone, we have Lenovo, we have Huawei. What other phone brands do you know? Huawei, Lenovo, Samsung, and all the rest of the brands. So I hope you are now getting the point of globalization from the memes to the pictures to the illustrations that I am saying. Sana nakukuha nyo na ang konsepto ng globalization. Pero hindi pa tayo talaga nagsisimula. Mga introduction lang yan, di ba? Ang dami-dami nating pictures dito. Prepared ang Sir Aaron ninyo. Anyway, again, this picture tells us that we communicate with every part of the world, or we can communicate with the people all across and around the globe because of these social media platforms. You have Facebook, ayan, Twitter, Messenger, YouTube, LinkedIn, etc. Okay, globalization and the global village. What is globalization? According to, how would you read that? Nowazik 2017, it is the process of bringing people together and making them interact and exchange ideas across traditional borders. Okay? So it's through globalization that we are able to connect with other people even without traveling there in the exact place, even without going there, even without spending so much money for our airplane fees, for our plane tickets. Ayan, we can communicate with other people only or just through the concept of globalization, even without traveling there. Okay, according to Downing 2007, the world, driven largely by advances in technology, has become inextricably interconnected across distances and boundaries. Sabi naman ni Gamble and Gamble 2013, It is the increasing economic, political, and cultural integration and interdependence of diverse cultures. Okay, if you may recall, when I was about to end our meeting after the quiz last, was it Tuesday ba yun? Or kahapon lang ba yun? Yung nag-quiz tayo, Tuesday, tama?
Yes,
Last
Tuesday
Tuesday,
po.
Tuesday, I asked you the impact of globalization to our economy, to our education, and what else did I say? Economy, education, and communication. Okay, sabi ni Gamble and Gamble, globalization increases economic, political, and cultural integration. How does it happen? When we say economic, this pertains to your importation, exportation, ayan, yung mga exchanges of goods, yung mga transactions, yung mga dealings ng government leaders natin with the government leaders of other countries, they transact with one another, investment talks, etc. Economic yan. Okay? So kung walang globalization, wala sanang mga ibang bansa na nag-i-invest sa atin, hindi sana natin sila nakakausap, etc. etc. Okay. And globalization is making us integrate and depend more on others. We are interdependent. We need them, they need us. Ganun ang globalization. Okay, global village according to Marshall McLuhan is one world interconnected by an electronic nervous system we call media. Okay, so yung global village na tinatawag, we all know that we are separated by oceans, by lands, etc. Pero we are still considered as one. We are still called as the global village because we are connected by what we call the media. It's an electronic nervous system connecting all of us from wherever we are sa mundo, kahit nasaan tayo, we can be connected with other parts of the world because of the media. Okay, analysis time. I have here again an illustration. We all know that the world is not flat, it's actually round or spherical. It's not true that it's round scientifically, pero this is just a point of analysis, or let's say a figurative implication of globalization. So how can the world be flattened because of globalization? Can you explain this to me? Maglilista ako ha ng mga mag-recite. Baka may gustong maka+1 ulit dyan, +2, di ba? Sayang, so walang naka-perfect sa inyo, no? Pero 64, Janeline Agbuya, very good. And 63, si King Paolo Cabansay. Very good, guys. +1, +2. Sino gusto mag-recite? What is the meaning of the flattened world? Ano ang ibig sabihin niyan? Ano ang sinasabi niyang flat ng mundo dahil sa globalization?
ma'am ko po, dahil po sa globalization po, ano po, nagkakaroon ng equality, nagiging flat yung pagtingin ng pagtingin
Who
sa
is talking? Hindi ko narinig. Kumuha ako ng pen and paper. Raise your hand so that you can be recognized. Is it King Paulo? Oh, yes, King Paulo.
ma'am, parang po, para lang po sa akin to mama, parang yung flatten parang equality o equal opportunity, yung globalization nagbibigay ng equal opportunity sa ating mundo po.
Correct. O can you expound? Medyo nakulangan ako. Tuwang-tuwa na sana ako kasi nakuha mo na eh. Equality of people in the world. O expound. Expound your answer. Okay na yon?
Okay na ma'am.
0.5. Yes, Janeline?
Ma'am, siguro kasi yung sa globalization nagbibigay siya ng opportunity sa lahat ng tao sa buong mundo para magkaroon ng job, ganun po.
Okay, it's pretty much the same with what King Paulo has said. Equality of people, equality of opportunities given to people. Okay, who else has ideas? You can make use of your hands. Example, this is the earth, it's round, and then it becomes flat. Then tell me something about it, diba? Don't be afraid to talk. Salita ka lang kung anong nasa utak mo. Paano nagiging from round, from bilog, nagiging flat ang mundo dahil sa globalization? Yes, Micaela?
Ma'am, for me lang, like sabi niyo po, 'di ba ma'am, round po yung wait lang po may ma'am, 'di ba, yung mundo po is round, like nagiging flat kasi po kahit na may difference po tayo sa ibang po, yung parang nagkakaisa pa rin, like nagrerespetuhan lang, gano'n po, ma'am.
Okay. Mhm. You have a point on not really. Medyo malayo na. Okay. Who else has another idea before I reveal the essence of that particular image? Okay, kung wala na, tama ang sinabi ni King Paulo at Janeline about giving people equal opportunities to present themselves in the global arena. Kaya yan flat. And ito pa, it's round, diba? Communication and everything becomes easier if it's flat. Unlike if it's round, andito ka for example, pag magpa-plot ka ng linya, madami kang pang dadaanan bago ka makakonect doon sa kabilang side, the other side of the world. Pero kapag flat yan, ang dali na lang mag-plot, ang dali mo na lang kumonect. Nakuha? That's the essence of our flattened world class. Globalization is giving us an equal opportunity to present ourselves in the global arena, in the global village, present our identity, present our culture, our food preferences, our clothing, our movies, etc. Parang Korea, yung movies nila napapanood natin because of this flattened world, because of globalization. Because kung round yan, we are talking about figurative here, ha? It's not literal kasi nga in reality, scientifically, the world is spherical and it's never flat. Okay? So, hindi natin napapanood yung mga K-pop ninyo kung walang globalization. Okay, let's talk about some of the points here. Sabi ni Thomas Friedman, a surprising and lightning quick convergence of technologies allows individuals, not just countries and companies, to communicate from anywhere to anywhere, collaborating and competing for the first time on a level playing field. Take note on the phrase level playing field signifying equality kasi level, naka-level na siya. Hindi siya yung round na marami ka pang dadaanan, etc. Unlike kapag ka-level playing field, you're given equal opportunity to present yourself. Pantay-pantay kayo level, okay? Magkaka-level, level playing field, okay? Dahil sa flattening of the world because of globalization. Okay? Communication or connection with people from the other side of the world becomes easier because of globalization. Another image here, proofs of globalization. Sa Morocco, let's say this is McDo. Actually, it's McDo nga sa Germany. Yan yung letter M. Let's assume na McDo lahat to. So may McDo sa Morocco, may McDo sa Japan, may McDo sa UK, sa Turkey, sa Germany, sa Spain, sa Hong Kong, India, and Mexico. Okay, if I may ask, saan ba nag-originate ang McDo? Do you know?
Philippines. Ay, Jollibee pala.
Philippines ba? Totoo? Okay, anyway, let's assume,
US.
because I'm not really sure about it. Let's assume na McDo originated from the Philippines. Ang founder ay Filipino. Okay, sa Pilipinas galing. But because of globalization, natitikman din ng Morocco ang McDo, ng Japan ang McDo, United Kingdom, Turkey, Germany, and all these countries you are seeing here on your screen, all because of globalization. But we also have a concept we call culture. Kung meron ba tayong kapareho sa ibang mga lahi, meron din tayong pagkakaiba-iba. At yan ay dahil sa kultura na kinagisnan natin. Okay. So there may be McDo dyan sa mga country na yan na nabanggit or nakikita ninyo sa screen, but there are modifications. And these modifications are dependent on or because of the culture na mayroon ang isang bansa. For example, in India, we know that it's a country which loves spices, which loves spicy food. Kaya naman, or even China, what is China known for? China is known for exotic food, weird combinations of food, and parang absurd na tastes. Ayan, di ba ganyan kilala ang China? Yung kumakain sila ng mga exotic na mga pagkain. I don't know if you have heard about this, pero yung ice cream sa China, yung sundae sa China, ay may toppings na chili oil. Narinig nyo na yan?
Napapanood
So-
lang po, ma'am, sa mga vlog.
Okay, who among you have already heard about that sundae, ice cream sundae sa China na may toppings na chili oil? Can you raise your hand? Wala pang nakarinig sa inyo yan. Okay, the point is, maaaring may McDo dito sa Pilipinas, may McDo din sa China, pero may pagkakaiba pa rin because of what we call culture. Dahil nga kultura sa China, na kumakain sila ng mga weirdong pagkain doon, yung kanilang ice cream ay minodify nila from the chocolate toppings, naging chili oil na yung toppings niya. Okay, you see that is how culture plays its role naman dito sa globalization. We are talking about how we can be similar with one another, how we can be familiar with one another, how we can share similar things. Pero when it comes to culture, what we are talking about are our differences, our unique qualities, our unique practices, sets of behaviors, beliefs, etc. Okay? Diyan napapasok ang kultura. Maaaring lahat ng ito ay puro McDo, pero may modification yung mga yan dependent on the culture that the country has. So maaaring sa India, mas puro maanghang lahat yan. Tapos sa Pilipinas, may choice ka kung maanghang o hindi. Pero sa India, parang automatic na lahat maanghang, etc. Because of the culture. Okay? So take note, culture plays a very important role in globalization. Okay, why do you have to talk about these international stuffs? Because we live in a global village and it is inevitable that we will be talking about the preferences of other countries over our preferences. We also have to talk about the international stuffs because living in the global village means understanding the culture of the country that you are transacting with, for example, that you are dealing with. Okay, we all share our common differences and that is what we call culture. Ayan. And what is culture? It is the learned and shared behavior of a community of interacting human beings or a system of beliefs, assumptions, and values shared by a group of people. This is by Fielding, 1996, as cited in Singh and Ramprasad, 2010. Okay, culture simply means shared set of beliefs, assumptions, values of people, of particular people living in a geographical area. Kultura ang tawag doon. Yung pananamit nila, yung kanilang pagkain, yung kanilang mga paniniwala, practices, they are your culture. So they are shared patterns of behaviors, interactions, cognitive constructs, and effective understanding that are learned through a process of socialization. Last one is the learned set of shared interpretations about beliefs, values, and norms that affect the behaviors of a relatively large group of people. Because I'm telling you that culture means our unique qualities, things that are not manifested by other people. Can you give me examples of our unique qualities as Filipinos that are not possessed by any other nationalities? Ano ang meron tayo na wala sa iba? Ano yung ginagawa natin na hindi nila ginagawa? O aside from King Paulo, come on, ang dali ng tanong. Yes, Janelle Castro?
Ano po, pagmamano or pagbibless po?
Okay, correct. Ayan, yung pagmamano natin, yung gesture of respect natin na pagmamano class, hindi naman yan ginagawa sa ibang bansa. Because Americans, for example, are more on kissing their parents sa cheeks or sa forehead, minsan pa nga sa lips, naglilips-lips ang mag-ama sa Amerika or ang mag-ina or ang daughter sa tatay. Normal yung mga yan sa Amerika. Pero here in the Philippines, we show our gesture of respect through pagmamano. Okay. Next, John Paul, aside from pagmamano,
Pag-aalok ng pagkain, ma'am.
what is it?
Pag-aalok ng pagkain po.
Paghahanap ng pagkain?
Pag-aalok po.
Pag-aalok.
Pakilinawan,
Pag-aalok po. Pag-o-offer, ma'am.
pag-aalok, pag-offer. Not really, pero oo din kasi Filipinos are very hospitable, very welcoming, na kahit na hindi mo naman intention na pakainin talaga siya, pero pagka kumakain ka tapos may dumaan, tara kain tayo. Correct, tama. Oo, tama. Very Filipino pala. Oo, kasi, well, other people or other races are also offering. Pero kasi yung culture na yan sa atin, unique to Filipinos. Kasi kahit na hindi mo talaga intensyon, hindi mo talaga minimin, or hindi ka talaga seryoso na pakainin siya, automatic sa atin ng mga Pilipino na kapag kumakain tayo at may dumaan, nag-aaya tayo because we are very sensitive when it comes to food. Now, when other people see us eating, we are very sensitive na we have to at least offer it kahit na hindi naman natin intention na ibigay yung pagkain. Tama? Nakaka-relate kayo? Ganyan ang mga Pilipino. Very good example, John Paul Makatantan. Correct. Very Filipino yan. How about Richard Nolasco?
Pagsasabi ng po at opo.
Okay, yung po at opo natin kasi in the language, in the English language, walang counterpart ang po at opo. You cannot really manifest your respect when you are using the English language because walang counterpart yung po at opo sa English language. Very good. All right. And Rowena Lynn de Vera.
Ano po ma'am, parang hospitable po. Yung paglalabas ng mga bagong gamit ma'am, yung mga hindi nilalabas ng parents natin. Pag may
Okay, yes. Hospitality, yung hindi ginagamit sa usual days. Tapos pag may bisita, gusto magpasikat lang, diba? O kaya uutang para may pangmerienda yung bisita, etc. And yes, Angela Mora.
Ma'am, yung yung sa ibang bansa po wala po silang yung pagdiriwang para mga fiesta po. Unlike po sa atin, meron po tayong mga ganon.
Festivals. Okay, very good. May festivals tayo, tapos yung very religious kasi ang mga Pilipino. Actually, yung festivals natin, ang ibig sabihin nun, yung recognizing patron saints, ganyan, di ba? Pero ang alam kasi ng mga Pilipino, pag piyesta, kainan, punsya. Pero ang festivals actually ay in commemoration of a saint that has passed away long time ago, ganyan, di ba? Pero pag piyesta sa atin, punsya, ang piyesta ay giving honor to the saint or to the patron na pinapaniwalaan ng Pilipino. Yes, Jessica Makam.
Yung yung Filipino po yung nagse-celebrate na po sila ng Christmas po pag September pa lang po.
Okay, longest Christmas celebration, and Christmas is not actually the best holiday season in America. What Americans enjoy is the Halloween. Mas gusto nila ang Halloween kaysa sa Christmas. Okay, I think enough of that. We have heard a lot. That's just the point. When it comes to culture, ayan, naiintindihan, no? Nasusundan ang topic natin. Madali lang siyang intindihin, madali lang siyang i-grasp. We talked about globalization, our similarities, pero we don't forget that also in globalization, differences, unique qualities exist. Okay? Very good examples. We forgot about yung superstitions ng mga Pilipino. Diyan din tayo kilala sa mga paniniwala natin na walang kabuluhan, walang basihan, walang touch of science. Okay. So here are your 5 characteristics of culture. Number 1, cultures are learned, not innate. Number 2, cultures are shared. 3, cultures are multifaceted. 4, cultures are dynamic. And lastly, cultural identities are overlapping. Okay, let's go over them one by one. Unahin natin syempre yung number 1, cultures are learned, not innate. Okay, why are cultures learned and not innate? Ibig sabihin, you are not born with that practice. You are not born with that belief. It doesn't mean na upon your birth o upon getting out of your mom's womb, automatic na nakabahag ka na. For example, culture ng mga igorot na magsuot ng bahag. Tama ba? Bahag ang tawag doon?
Yes po.
Okay. So, it's part of the igorot's culture to wear bahag. Pero here in number 1, when we're talking about culture is not innate, it is learned. It tells us that it's not automatic that you are already practicing that particular culture upon your birth. Kasi yung bata, hindi naman nakasuot agad ng bahag yan nung ipinanganak siya. Ibig sabihin, he just learned to wear the bahag or to learn the culture of wearing bahag as he is growing, as he is already imitating it or observing it from the people around him. That is why cultures are learned and they are not innate. So the practices, the beliefs, they are learned as we are growing up, growing old. They're not automatic to us the moment that we were born. Natututunan natin sila, inaaral natin sila, nakikita natin sila, na-observe natin sa kapaligiran natin or sa mundong ginagalawan natin, sa society or sa community that we belong, kaya natin siya na-i-apply. Second, cultures are shared. Very evident. How can culture be shared? Can you give me example kung paano na-share ang kultura? Please, aside from Jenilyn, aside from King Paulo, Micaela, Janelle, John Paul, Richard, Rowena Lynn, Angelo, and Jessica. May I see another name? Tapos na din si Rowena Lynn. Come on, magsalita ka para magkaroon ka ng 1 point man lang sa 10% na recitation. Malaking kawalan na yan. Kasi kung hindi ka magkasalita, saan ko kukunin ang recitation points mo? Yes, Jasmine Steban.
Ano po, through storytelling po, sa pagkikwento po.
True?
Storytelling po.
Okay, through storytelling, from your lolas, passing the story from one generation to another, passing on, okay, through storytelling. Pero what do we have now? You're related to the current trend. You're related to what is happening in the world now. How is culture shared? The culture of Koreans, for example, aside from Mora Angelo, parang I saw yung isang kamay kanina. Yes, Jonah Naraha.
Ma'am, through music po.
Correct, through music. Oh, kindly expound your answer. Pakilinaw-linawan ang mga sagot ninyo. Stick in
Ma'am, like,
English.
ma'am, like in Korea po, I love to listen to Korean music po and Korean drama po. That's why I know their other cultures po.
Okay, culture is shared class because if we go back to the illustration that was shown to you a while back, the world is already flattened. We are all given equal opportunities to present ourselves in the global village or in the global arena. Koreans are actually doing that. Sila nga yung nangunguna ngayon eh. Halos malagpasan na nila o mapantayan. Actually, may mga pagkakataon na nalalagpasan na nila ang Hollywood, ang Amerika when it comes to sharing their culture. Through movies, through music, through their dance. Ayan, puro na lang Korea. Hindi lang din dito sa Pilipinas sila nagte-trending, pero they are being accommodated, accepted, and being loved by other countries, not only here in Asia, pero sa iba't ibang continent na rin. Okay, Korea is doing a very good job when it comes to their media, when it comes to their multimedia. Okay? Tayo kasi, di ba, syempre, gusto rin naman talaga nating suportahan yung sariling atin, for example, Philippine cinema. Pero what we are also asking for is for the Filipino movie producers to present something more palatable on our table. When we say something more palatable on our table, yung matutuwa naman tayo, yung bago sa mata natin. Because pagka sinabi nating Filipino movies, very predictable na. Alam mo na yung story, it will revolve around love, about infidelity, kabit-kabit, nawawalang anak, nag-aaway na sisters, nag-aaway ng mga pamilya, nakawan ng yaman, nakawan ng kapangyarihan. Ganyan lang, di ba? Ganyan lagi ang storyline ng Filipino movies natin, which we are all very tired of na. Pagod na tayo at sawang-sawa na tayo sa mga ganyang storyline. Kaya naman, we are loving what the Korea is presenting us, na hindi naman natin kasalanan na gustuhin natin ang mas maganda. It's not having colonial mentality, but it's actually having a taste for what is good, diba? For what is beautiful, for what is nice, for what is pleasing to our eyes, to our ears, to our nose, diba? To our senses of touch, smell, etc. Diba? Dapat mag-level up din ang Philippines para sila naman yung tangkilikin natin. Kasi kung magandang ipapresent nila, definitely we will be happy to support it. Okay, anyway, ano ba yung mga gustong-gusto nating panoorin? If you notice, kung kayo ay mga K-pop, mga fans ng K-pop or K-drama, yung mga addict sa K-drama dyan, kung na-notice ninyo, laging may plot twist ang K-drama. Yung akala mo, alam mo na yung storya, pero may mangyayaring hindi mo inaasahan. Am I right? That is why we love
Yes, ma'am.
Korean movies, Korean movie series, and TV series because of the plot twist. So the writers are very good and the storyline does not revolve around the concept of love, infidelity, kabit-kabit, hindi lang naman doon. In fact, yung favorite ko so far na Korean movie series, yung nag-trend na Squid Game. Squid Game ba yun? Tama?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, Squid Game ba yung title nun? Tama? Nakalimutan ko na. Pero
Yes po, ma'am.
that was so far the best movie series that I have watched kasi yung ibang mga K-pop mga movies ay ano din, puro love din. No? Ayoko ng romance. Mas gusto ko yung tungkol sa capitalism, tungkol sa government, tungkol, di ba? Can you imagine? The writer of that Squid Game utilized childhood games as a concept or as a tool to present the concept of capitalism. Ganon, ang ganda. Meron pa din yung katulad din siya ng Squid Game pero hindi siya Korean, Japanese siya. Yung Alice in Borderland. Was able to watch that? Raise your hand.
Hindi pa natatapos, ma'am.
Pero nabasa na yung manga. Kasi nauna ang
Yes,
manga.
ma'am.
Actually, mas nauna daw ang Alice in Borderland kaysa sa Squid Game. Kaso mas nauna lang ipalabas ang Squid Game. Ang Alice in Borderland, matagal na siyang manga. Ngayon lang pero siya naging movie series. Maganda din ang Alice in Borderland, Japanese yan. Okay, so enough of our examples. What I'm just trying to say is that it is made possible through globalization. Okay, culture is shared through the movies that we are watching. We're able to take a look or take a glimpse of what is happening or what is the culture of one country. For example, sa napapanood natin, nakikita natin yung mga kasuotan nila and especially their language. Kahit na may English na subtitle, naririnig din naman natin yung lengguwahe nila na Koreans or Mandarins, pag Chinese, Japanese, kapag Japan. Okay, so culture, balikan natin yung meaning niya, sets of beliefs, yung language mo, yung food preferences mo, yung clothing, yung values, practices. Okay, these are your culture. Nakikita natin lahat yan na isi-share sa atin through their movies, through their music, through their dance, etc. That is why cultures are shared. And number 3, cultures are multifaceted class because it has many faces. Marami, faceted, maraming mukha. Even if we are all Filipinos, we also have distinct characteristics from one another. Example, ang Pangasinan ay may ibang ugali or ibang practices sa mga Ilocano. Same with Kapampangan, Batanggenyo, mga Tagalog, mga Waray, mga Hiligaynon. Nakukuha, culture is multifaceted,
Yes.
maraming mukha.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, iba-iba pa rin. Kahit na pareho kayong mga Pilipino, iba-iba pa rin yung kultura. Maaaring magkakaiba pa rin yung mga kultura ninyo. Mga sets of beliefs ninyo and language. So tayo, Pangasinan, sila Ilocos, sila ay Kapampangan, etc. Another one, sa pagiging multifaceted ng culture, let's take language as an example. Ang salitang Goryon ay maaaring maging saranggola sa ibang lugar. Okay, ang salitang masamit ay maaaring asukar sa ibang lugar. Ano pa? Give me examples. Ano ang ginagamit natin dito sa Kalasyaw? Masamit ang Pangasinan term namin for sugar. Pero sa Mangaldan daw, asukar. O how about in your places? In San Carlos, is it masamit or asukar?
Masamit.
Masamit din. Shena, how about you?
Yung mga
Okay,
matatanda masamit.
Okay, Richard, taga saan ka?
San Carlos, ma'am.
Asukar ang gamit nyo.
Ma'am, paras lang. Asukal masami.
Oo nga. Oo, pero sino yung hindi? Kasi may mga parts ng Pangasinan na asukar talaga yung ginagamit. O meron pa, yung unloob, undago. Unloob, ibig sabihin papasok sa eskwelahan, pero sa iba undago.
Unurong.
Unurong,
Yes, ma'am,
correct.
unurong.
So you see, or at least you are now getting that culture is multifaceted. Number 4, cultures are dynamic because culture changes. Nagbabago yan from one generation to another. Nakukuha. At paano nangyayari yan? Let's go back to number 2. Cultures are shared. So culture changes because other cultures are shared to us that we tend to adapt. For example, ang crop top originally ay clothing preference ng mga Korean. Pero nagiging identity na rin siya ng mga Pilipino dahil sa inyong mga nagka-crop top kayo. Sino mga mahilig mag-crop top dyan? Shopee ng Shopee, crop top ang in-order. So later on, sooner or later, so sa ngayon nga yung baro at saya, yes, that's our identity as Filipinos. Pero daily clothing ba natin siya? Hindi. Hindi natin daily clothing ang baro at saya. Sinusot lang natin yan kapag buwan ng wika or kapag yan ang tema sa isang okasyon, yan ang tema sa kasal or sa isang event. For example, there are events here in PSU, may mga events na ang pinapasuot sa amin ay Pilipiniana, ganyan lang, pero hindi siya daily basis. Kasi kapag sinabi natin kultura, dapat pinapractice mo on a daily basis, dapat yun talaga ang suot mo, which actually is naman, or which actually was noong unang panahon. Kasi noong unang panahon, talaga naman ang suot ng mga kababaihan ay Pilipiniana. Tapos mga kalalakihan, mga baro o saya sa mga kababaihan. Okay? And everyday yan na suot nila, nakapalda at hindi yung mga ganito. Kasi for example, may blazer is not a Filipino thing but an American thing, di ba? Yung crop top ninyo is not originally Filipino but Korean. Okay, that is why culture is dynamic because it changes over time. And how does it change? Because we are accepting or accommodating cultures that are shared by other countries, such as yung ninyo nga na nasi-share na sa atin dahil sa globalization. And this blazer, ayan, from the Western countries. And number 5, cultural identities are overlapping. Again, these are all interconnected with one another. How do cultural identities overlap? Because cultures are shared. Again, number 2, go back to number 2. Nag-overlap yung identity natin. Ang blazer sana ay identity lamang ng mga Amerikano, pero hindi mo na pwedeng sabihin yun kasi hindi nang naman sila ang nagsusuot ng blazer, tayo din. Ng coat, for example, ng necktie, hindi mo na lang pwedeng sabihin na, Melody Barolo is an American because she is wearing a necktie. Hindi na pwedeng sabihin na ganun kasi wearing a necktie is not a unique practice by Americans. Okay? Nakukuha? Kaya cultural identities are overlapping. Ang wearing necktie ay hindi na lang identity ng isang Amerikano, pero pwede na yun mag-overlap sa identity ng Filipino, ng Japanese, ng Chinese, kasi nga hindi lang mga Amerikano ang nagsusuot niyan kahit na sa kanila nagsimula yung trend, for example. Malinaw? Yung 5 characteristics ng culture natin?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
At least nakalahati naman natin, nasa 38 na tayo. Nakalahati because kahit na 95 yan, puro pictures and memes lang yung mga sumusunod. So we will continue discussing this sa face-to-face natin. Sana makahanap tayo ng magandang classroom. And then I will do my best to borrow a cord kapag may smart TV yung classroom o kaya naman projector kapag wala para hindi naman kayo lugi. Pero even if I'm not using those not because I do not know how to use them, but because of our lack of resources here in the campus. Sana naman naiintindihan nyo, no? Kasi na-explain naman natin siya ng maayos.
Yes, ma'am.
Pero to be fair with you, I will borrow para ma-project ko yung PowerPoint na yan sa smart TV natin o sa wall, basta may mahiram tayo. Kasi personally, I don't have it and dapat yung school naman talaga ang nagpo-provide. Meron naman kaso isa, so gagamitin na siya ng ibang faculty, wala na sa iyo, naunahan ka ng manghiram, for example. Okay, so we stop there because it's already 2:56. I hope you have learned a lot this afternoon. Can you open your camera now? Or do you have any questions or inputs? May gusto ba kayong sabihin na related sa pinag-aralan natin?
Wala naman po.
Alright, open your camera. Sino mag-volunteer na mag-take ng ating group photo with our signature pose? Sino mag-volunteer?
Ako na lang po.
Alright, King Paulo, i-ano ko na lang. Wait lang. Large gallery mo, King Paulo,
Yes.
ha? Okay, paki-large gallery, King Paulo. And then isend mo sa GC natin. Okay.
1, 2, 3, pose. Pose muna. 1, 2, 3, pose. Yung iba hindi naka-pose. 1, 2, 3, pose. Thank you po.
Alright. O, teka lang. Sige, mag-post kayo ng konti. Mag-print screen ako. Alright. Thank you, class. Have a very good afternoon. May itatag siguro ako sa inyo na activity na gagawin nyo. Synthesis lang. Laging ganun. Summarize what you have learned. Synthesis. Alright. Goodbye. I'll be ending the meeting now. Have a good day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.